And this is one philosophy that I always believe, right? And for many, we don't really understand the deeper meaning of those words. One is the character of the person. The second one is the competency of the person and clarity. Clarity is ability to see. Fourth C, which is actually culture. How all these four C's come together. This is one philosophy that I always believed, right? And for many of those words that we sort of use commonly, we don't really understand the deeper meaning of those words. And one such word is trust, right? And I can guarantee you to stop anyone and ask them, do you know trust? They'll say yes. And can you ask them to explain trust? Each one will tell something. Someone will say trust is like being honest or don't speaking lies. Someone will say it is reliable, loyal. Meaning they'll use different things, but nobody will really tell you in definite terms, right? What is trust, right? And how do we build the trust, and how does trust gets built, and how is it? And many times most of these concepts we can only understand when we can juxtaposition them with other concepts or other words that we know and be able to relate to them. Like for example, how is trust related to performance or results, right? And what is that? What we talk about culture, and how is trust connected to culture? And there is a complex web of things at play here, right? And almost always we really do not know these interconnections. First of all, we do not know the deeper meaning of these individual words. Second, it's another order of magnitude of complexity that we do not know the interconnections between all these words and what influences other, or what is included in others, or things like that, right? And then it was always, this trust is an elusive concept for me. I never fully understood it. Then finally I was reading a book. I've been reading about trust for 15-20 years, okay, just like many of you, right? It's not like I am alone. All of you have been reading about trust for 15-20 years. And then suddenly I was reading another book called Stephen Covey Jr. wrote a book on trust. Okay. And I was reading that book, and suddenly a lot of things sort of fallen in place. Okay. Then I realized, if you have to trust someone, there is 2 C's are important, right? One is the character of the person. The second one is the competency of the person, right? Then what is the character of the person? He's honest, he's reliable, he is committed, he's focused. All of that is character attributes, right? And then competency is he knows to do something well. Like for example, if you go to a doctor, he knows how to do a surgery really well. That is competence. But what if the doctor is going to cheat you and say, hey, you need to do a heart surgery, where you can resolve with a tablet? When you ask your friends, like, show me a good doctor, what you're really asking is not like really a good doctor who can do good surgery, but also a doctor who knows how to do good surgery, but also who will not do the surgery if it is not required, right? That's the doctor you want from your friends to refer, which means trust devoid of either one of these attributes. Like, let's say there's a fantastic doctor who will not charge you anything, but he is not good in surgery. Would you still go to him? You won't. So, trust is a combination of competence and character. Purely based on character, you won't trust someone. Purely based on competence, you won't trust someone. Right? When someone has both trust competence and character, you tend to trust that person. But then how does progress happen? Or results happen? Output happen, right? And that is when the third C comes into picture, which I actually call as clarity, right? When someone has character, competence, and clarity. Clarity is ability to see. Competence is ability to do. There is a difference between ability to see and ability to do. So when you combine all these three C's, clarity, competence, and character, you start making progress in one vector, right? And this is really what we want to do and create the fourth C, which is actually culture, right? So culture is nothing but creating an environment where we have great people with amazing character, phenomenal competence, have good clarity, so that we can all work together and build a cohesive, happy, progressive, performing and friendly culture, right? So that's really how all these four C's come together. Okay.